So I wanted to share something a little different today. Something that I've been into lately, getting started. I like the drink kombucha, and these bottles can be expensive. This brand name, which I like, I mean they're like $4 something a bottle, but you can make kombucha at home. And kombucha, for those that don't know, is just brewed sweet tea. So you're supposed to be able to make your own SCOBY, which is the living organism that ferments in your tea that turns your sweet tea into kombucha. It eats the sugar in the sweet tea and you get your kombucha, which is a probiotic, which I've been into these lately. So it's something I wanted to try. I thought I'd share. So I'm going to bring 7 cups of water. I'm going to bring it to a boil of spring water, and I'm going to use 4 tea bags. I'm going to let it steep for 10 minutes, and I'll put it in a jar here. Got my little thermometer on there, and I'll let it come to room temperature. Get down somewhere around 82, 78, or a little bit less. And once it does that, I am going to add this just original kombucha. There's no flavorings in this. It's just kombucha straight up, because you're supposed to be able to make or grow your own SCOBY. This is going to be what's called the starter tea. You have to have starter tea, and I'll show these later when I do it. You have to have starter tea when you brew a batch of kombucha. I got some brewing right now, or fermenting, I should say, not really brewing. But I've never done this before. You get the little sediments down there that should help grow that SCOBY. So I just thought I'd share the project. It's a new project, something I did years ago, but I bought the SCOBY to use. And once you start doing this, I'll show my other batch that I have going. Your SCOBY multiplies. The mother gives birth to the baby, which becomes a mother, and you keep reusing them in your batches of kombucha. But anyway, I'm waiting for my water to come to a boil now, so I can steep the tea. And I'm gonna get my other kombucha that's fermenting to show what that looks like. So this is a batch I have going right now, and I don't know how well you can see that because of light or reflections. Sorry about that. That's the little SCOBY that's growing in there, or that's living in there to ferment your tea. It eats the sugars again and turns it into the kombucha. I had that one going. It's only been going a couple days. I've already done one batch, and I'll show you. I did one batch already, and it's just a plain. I did a mango, blueberry, and strawberry. So plain strawberry, blueberry, mango. These are carbonating right now. I added a little, when it's like a secondary fermentation. I poured my original kombucha in there. I added some sugar to this one. Again, the fruits in these will help create some CO2 and carbonate your kombucha, which most people like it carbonated. I like them carbonated, even though it's fine just as a straight up not that carbonated. But again, so I'm trying to, that little funky thing in there, I'm trying to see if I can't grow one on my own. Now again, this should form, when this is ready in about 3 weeks, maybe a month, there should be another one that gets formed. And so I'll have 2. And every batch you make, you're gonna get another one. They can add up pretty quick. But that's what I have going right now. It's one of my latest projects. Besides my beer, that's been keeping me busy here for a little while. So these have been going for a couple days. It takes about 3 days, and then I'll put them in the refrigerator to slow down that carbonation process and start drinking them then. So again, I'll show back when my tea's been ready to go into the bigger jar, and adding the store-bought kombucha. So something else I forgot to mention is that I'm adding a half a cup of cane sugar to the hot tea. Try to stir it up and dissolve it. Then I'm gonna stick this in an ice bath because I don't have the time to wait for it to cool down. I'm gonna put it in an ice bath and to get it to cool down, and then I'm gonna pour my store-bought kombucha in here. And again, I hope this all works. It's not something I've ever tried before, but I got time. Why not try things? Why not do it? I have the time to do it. And I'm gonna actually get one of these made up for my daughter so she can take it to her place and start doing this on her own too. So let me get this into an ice bath and try to bring that down to a temperature that I can continue. Okay, so nice little ice bath work. Got it down to about 76 degrees, which should be good enough. It won't kill off the probiotics, or I don't know what I want to say in there, those organisms that the living probiotics that will hopefully create my SCOBY. So I'm just going to go, oh, these things, if you're not careful, you can't shake these too much because they will, look at that, you can see that, they will come out and overflow on you. The first one I ever had, when I saw that those probiotics on the bottom, I figured I needed to shake it up, and that was a mess. It obviously took off on me like a soda would. So let's get this in here. Some people say you only use a cup. I'm just going to use the whole thing. There's only 16 ounces in here. Try to get it all. And I'm going to give it a little stir. You need to cover these. Don't put a lid on this. I got cloth. Put on top of it. People use napkins. I mean, a bunch of different stuff, you know, just as long as it's breathable. And I'll put it in a place where it doesn't get direct sunlight. Usually just put it in some cabinet where it's out of the way and it just sits and does its thing. So hopefully I'll keep checking back on it every few days to see if anything's going on with it. But hopefully I will have grown a SCOBY, and I forget what that stands for. It means something. It's just, it's culture. It's a living culture that eats that sugar in there, turns that sweet tea into kombucha, which I love. It has a tanginess, a tartness to it, a vinegary. You can get these things, you know, pretty, let's say bitter's the right word. It just, I just love that tartness, that tang or that taste that vinegar gives you. So that's my little pet project here to start. Give me something different to do, and hopefully we'll see some changes as time goes on. All right, later. Well, it's been a week since I did the store-bought kombucha to try to form and make my own SCOBY. Seems like a pretty decent amount of activity. So maybe it's on to something, and I'll have another SCOBY soon. So here is the second week of this kombucha, well, of the SCOBY that I'm trying to make from a jar of store-bought kombucha. You can see that it's really forming, like coming together. It's creating what so many people will recognize as a SCOBY. It's getting some thickness to it. So it's really cool, and you just smell that kombucha smell. If you drink kombucha and you know what it smells like, it just has that tangy, tart. I love the smell of it. So it's cool. This was awesome. I mean, I didn't think it'd turn out this well, or this good. You know, for a $5 jar of kombucha, you can grow your own SCOBY as opposed to paying like $15 on the net for it. So it's really cool. This will just be considered starter tea. I will not be able to I won't really drink it, or you're not supposed to really drink it. I guess you can, but you want to use it as your starter tea when you make your next batch. So that's going to be my starter tea. I'm going to give this probably 2 more weeks in the jar, and then try my first batch of kombucha with it. So just wanted to update 2 weeks later after I started. So here we are 4 weeks later. Hasn't changed much actually in the last week or so, but I think I grew a SCOBY. The real test is going to be, I'm going to make a batch of basically sweet tea using black tea. I use eight black tea bags and a cup of cane sugar. But I'm going to make my tea, add the sugar, add some water, cool this down to the right temperature in order to put the SCOBY in with 2 cups of what we call starter tea. And we'll see if this was successful in making, a live SCOBY. Again, forgive me for not understanding or knowing exactly off the top of my head what SCOBY means, but it's a live organism, and it's going to eat the sugars from the tea, as I've said before, to turn it into a drink called kombucha. If you've ever had it, it's just fermented tea. It's a really good drink, probiotic type of deal. So that I enjoy. But again, they're like $4 a bottle. So if you can make, pennies on the dollar kind of type of thing with your own at home, I'm gonna do it. But I'm just gonna go ahead and get cleaned up. Take this out of here for now because this is the jar I'm gonna be using. Just gonna transfer everything into here for now. To get this jar ready for my next batch of kombucha. So I'm sharing this video now, but what I'll do is I'll bring back another video on how well this went, if it actually succeeded, if I actually was able to grow a live SCOBY that can make kombucha for me. So I guess until that video, later. Okay, this is really the last part of this video. It's gone. All of this is probably longer than I expected it to go to. But anyway, so that was that SCOBY. This is the SCOBY in here that I grew from the bottle of kombucha. And I went ahead and brewed some tea like I was going to do. So what I do now is I'm going to add a couple of cups, they call it starter tea, to the tea I brewed. Well, anywhere to 1 to 2 cups. I go usually about 2 cups. Mix this up a little just to kind of mix it in there, and then I like to use a little bit of vinegar on my hand before I handle the SCOBY. So I'll just take this little boogery thing out of here, plop it in here, and get it going for my next batch of kombucha. So again, I'll follow up on this, just to follow up on it. It'll show how it all turned out. So that's kind of the beginning. Not quite the beginning to end process, but almost. We'll see how this goes. Be interesting how to see how this, if I was able to do this the right way. So that's it for this video until I do a follow up on the on this tea that I just brewed. Usually takes about 3 to 4 weeks. So do another one, tell you how that came out. So that's the end of this project for now.